PayPal stock. Today's video is all about PayPal stock. Today was their huge innovation day. They showed off 6 different innovations. We're going to watch this go through this. Now, Wall Street is selling off the stock after the event. And does this surprise me at all? And the answer to that is absolutely not. Not even 1% surprised. I pretty much thought it was a guarantee they were going to sell off this stock on the event. That's why I didn't buy any short-term call options on the stock. That's why, I wasn't like, crap, I need to load up before this innovation event. None of that. I looked at the price action going into the event. It was clear as day, like Wall Street wasn't excited about it. They wanted to sell the stock regardless. It's a very hated stock right now. Wall Street, I think, wants them to cut employees and not even do anything in regards to innovation. I think that's what's actually going on here. But, and kind of force them into an employee cut, kind of like Meta got forced into, right? And I think Wall Street's still kind of throwing a little bit of a temper tantrum here because they're not announcing any sort of big employee cut. And so I think that's what's going on because that's an easy way to get margins. That's an easy way to get to another level of profitability, right? If you cut a bunch of employees. So, all right, guys, so let's go through this event. Looking forward to this, sharing my thoughts and opinions on this. I appreciate y'all. Before we get into it, all I need you to do, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button, and that's it. That's all I ask. Hey, there it is. There's a thumbs up right there, okay? That's all I ask, and let's go ahead and get into this. If you're looking to apply to join my private group or anything like that, that's in the description area down there. All right, guys, let's go.
And welcome to PayPal First Look. This is our exclusive preview of the most impactful innovations we're...
By the way, I like this event, PayPal. If they do 1 or 2 of these a year, I think that's pretty cool. It reminds me a little bit of like Apple vibes. I like it. I think it looks really clean, professional, and pretty cool.
And bring to market this year. The innovations we believe will change commerce as we know it. At PayPal, we are on a mission to revolutionize commerce globally. PayPal handles transactions for nearly 400 million consumer accounts and 35 million merchants in more than 200 markets around the world. That's almost 25 billion transactions a year, about a quarter of the world's more than 6 trillion in e-commerce each year. But even more importantly, shoppers trust PayPal to power their payments. But now, the world is experiencing its next breakthrough in technology, the age of AI. The potential for businesses to leverage insights to acquire more customers, the opportunity for shoppers to get deeply personalized experiences like never before. This is a great time for PayPal to do what it does best and revolutionize commerce again. Today, I'm going to share with you 6 new innovations that we believe change the world of payments and commerce. So, let's dive in, starting with an entirely new checkout experience. If you're a business owner, what's top of mind? You want that next sale. And let's face it, as consumers, we're all busy. Little interruptions like password prompts or lagging response times can disrupt our shopping. These snags can mean the difference between a sale and a lost customer.
Now, this is huge, what he's about to get into here. And the reason this is huge, this goes back to Jeff Bezos. It was a great interview I saw of Jeff Bezos many, many years ago. And what Jeff Bezos was saying, right, former, obviously, CEO of Amazon, what he was saying was, if you just slow down fractionally the load time on a web page to come up, right, or to check out, it meaningfully changed whether you got sales or not on an e-commerce site. That was like fascinating to me. He went into the numbers. I can't remember the specific numbers off the top of my head, but it was large numbers. It was not like, oh, it's just like 1% of people. No. It was like double-digit percentage. If a website's a certain speed versus another speed, I was like, whoa, this is fascinating. So when he's talking about speeding up the process, right, making it more seamless, these sorts of things, it's going to mean a lot more sales through PayPal.
So,
and it's going to mean what else? It's going to mean a lot more merchants want to use PayPal, right? Which at the end of the day, if you're a merchant, you're a small business, mid-sized business, whatever, you need as many transactions as possible, right?
Accelerated the checkout process because that's what our customers expect. Just log in with your face or fingerprint, and in one tap, you are good to go. And this will reduce latency by as much as 50%, This will enable you
Wow,
to check
50%
out
latency.
twice as fast, all with the same level of security and trust you've come to expect from us. But now, let's take it to the next level. Let's talk about improving the guest checkout experience. Often, shoppers don't sign in or sign up while browsing. And when they're ready to check out, they've got to find their password or update their credit card info or shipping address. It's a hassle. No wonder about half the time, as close as they are to making a purchase, they just quit.
Yep.
They ghost you. It's a frustrating gap for merchants. So we fixed this. We developed a new guest checkout experience that merchants using our platform can offer to their shoppers, allowing them to make a fast and painless purchase. We call it Fastlane by PayPal. It couldn't be simpler. Save your information with Fastlane to check out in as little as one tap. No username or password to remember.
Nice.
No personal info to update. No need to share a credit card with businesses all over the web.
Love it.
PayPal recognizes you. For consumers, it means a remarkably easier shopping process. For every business, large or small, with PayPal, it means more sales.
Yep.
We're piloting Fastlane by PayPal right now with a group of merchants, and we're simply astounded by the early results. Because
I love it. This is genius. And if you are anybody other than Amazon, what is the big problem you have? The big problem you have is when somebody goes to check out with Amazon, like they already have their account made, they're already ready to go. It's just buy to click and boom, they make the purchase. It's so much more convenient. If you're basically almost any other retailer, it's a pain because likely that person doesn't have an account with you. So then they have to enter their name and their zip code and their address and their phone number and the email address. And it's like a several minute process, right? It's a pain in the butt. And a lot of consumers are so used to the Amazon checkout experience is one button and you bought it and it's sent to your house, boom, that we're kind of spoiled, right? And so now to go through that whole process is like, oh, so PayPal making it seamless and easy is massive for everybody except really Amazon. And so I would be gladly applauding this if I was basically any other e-commerce related anything outside of Amazon.
recognize 70% of guests who are PayPal users or have shopped at a PayPal merchant, we can reduce checkout time by almost 40%. BigCommerce, one of our longtime partners, has already implemented Fastlane by PayPal, and their conversion is as high as 70%. And we're planning to bring the platform, this advantage, to our 35 million merchants around the world. But we're not done. Now, let's take it one step further and see how we're helping out merchants turn one-time shoppers into repeat shoppers. Merchants want to incentivize customers to come back, and consumers want to find the best deals. So we're eliminating the guesswork for both. When you shop with PayPal, we'll send a receipt that not only allows you to track your purchase, but also harness AI to predict what you may want next from that merchant. As a result, now merchants will be able to include this personalized recommendation along with a cashback reward offer on the receipt. This is a real game changer for businesses everywhere. It's called Smart Receipts. And here's the best part.
It's called
the open
upsell.
rate for PayPal email receipts is already astonishing. About 45% of PayPal customers globally open their emailed receipts every day. Imagine what it could mean for tens of millions of merchants and hundreds of millions of customers to see timely, hyper-relevant recommendations and rewards in these receipts. It means millions of opportunities for merchants to re-engage directly with their customers, increasing the probability of repeat shopping and business growth. What's especially cool about these AI-powered suggestions is that we're doing something new at incredible scale. For businesses, our suggestions are based on what we know about your shoppers and their broader shopping habits, not just at your store, but through the scale of PayPal. We can.
So this is genius, absolutely genius. And the reason this is genius is the best time to sell more products to somebody is when they're buying the products at that particular moment, right? So think about it. You ever gone to a concert before, right? Of course, they got all the merch there. Why don't they just say, well, get the merch online after the concert or something like that? Because, well, then you're not as warmed up. You're not nearly as likely to buy the merch at that point in time. Why do every time you go to a baseball game or a football game or a basketball game, right? Why do they have a bunch of stores there that are selling jerseys and hats and all those sorts of things? Because you're excited. You're in the moment. And so it's a great time to go ahead and sell these products to you and not try to sell it to you tomorrow or next week or next month or something like that, right? So for a business to email a receipt and then give you another relevant thing right away to try to get a sale, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's business 101. So I definitely like that move by PayPal, and I open all my PayPal receipts all the time.
See across the web. Through personalized AI, we are giving each of our merchants the power of being one of the largest retailers in the world. But that's just the beginning of how we're using AI to reimagine commerce. We're also going to use our unique customer insights to build something brand new. A dynamic, truly personalized, advanced offers platform that we plan to roll out over the next few months that will change how people shop and how merchants engage with them every day. Today, when consumers shop online, their experience includes ads generated by what they've looked at or where they've browsed before. It can be irrelevant and frustrating. So we're going to revolutionize commerce advertising. With PayPal's new advanced offers platform, we're giving merchants the ability to reach customers based on what they've actually bought across the internet, down to the SKU, down to an individual product. This is specific merchant data from nearly $500 billion worth of merchant transactions globally. Our new platform can change everything because of the volume and diversity of this data and how we are leveraging AI capabilities to organize and analyze this information. It will allow merchants to customize offers like never before and only pay for performance, not impressions.
So what he's talking about here, folks, if PayPal can execute on this, and this is a big if, they can execute on this, folks, okay? This is one of the things that I thought was a little bit more of a moonshot idea, right? Where it's like, I think it's less than a 50% probability they're super successful here. But if they are super successful, I mean, this is an opportunity worth tens of billions, if not hundreds of billions, just in itself. When you think about like what makes Google so valuable, Meta so valuable, let me ask you that. It's the data. It's because they have massive amounts of people using it. And so they know, well, they roughly looked at this, they looked at that. Okay, let's show them ads for this and that and this and that, right? Well, PayPal, what makes them valuable? Well, if they do this, what's going to make them valuable is their massive amounts of data. Where he talks about 400 million users, right? And so if all of a sudden you can show, put in front of their face a relevant product that person might actually be interested in because they bought such and such other product in the past and they actually bought it. Not just they viewed a web page or something like that. That could be insanely valuable. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, this was something I think, should be taken very, very serious. Let's just put it that way by everybody out there in the market. Because if they execute on this and this actually happens, the company's like a night and day different size of a company. Am I happy with that presentation there and everything like that? I would say I am thrilled with that presentation there. I thought they did a great job of having announcements there and innovations that are going to produce returns like literally within months. And I think there's some other bigger things they're trying to do there that are like, not going to be as easy to have happen, but if they complete those, they're game changers for PayPal and for Venmo. I'm also happy to see them really engaging with Venmo to make that much more of a serious business platform and not just people transferring money back and forth to each other, right? Which is what Venmo's always been super, super successful at. Like go to a college campus and ask somebody to transfer money for this person, that person. It's obviously insanely popular. So very, very happy overall. Wall Street's going to jump on this bandwagon. I'm 100% convinced of that. It's just a question of, is it next week? Is it next month? Is it next quarter? But they will be jumping on this bandwagon. I'm pretty darn confident in that. Looking very forward to earnings, feeling pretty confident about those. And then I'm very, very excited for these innovations and kind of what's PayPal's got going over the next many years. So, if anything, I might be buying the stock tomorrow. We'll see. Okay. SoFi stock, what an absolutely incredible move. That stock is up over 19 percentage points here today. I do hope the gains last. This one has flirted with going $9, $10 a few times recently, and then it would fall back to $6 to $7. So let's hope this time the gains stick. So I want to go ahead and at the top of this video, I want to speak about SoFi. Alrighty guys, let's get into this.
Digits on those strong results, almost up 23% right now. CEO Anthony Noto joins us. Anthony, thanks for being here. Big quarter for you all. Profitable one, record revenue across the three businesses. Solid, profitable outlook as well. What are some of the key drivers that you think led to these results?
Well, Leslie, thank you for having me on. I'd say the strategy overall has really come into play and delivered exceptional results for the quarter. 6 years ago, we embarked on this very ambitious strategy to be a one-stop shop for all your financial services needs. When I joined the company in February 2018, we were primarily just a lender in two products. Today, we offer not just 4 types of loans, including home loans, but we also offer SoFi Money, which is a modern checking and savings account, SoFi Invest, SoFi Credit Card, insurance products, and we also power 140 million accounts across the fintech industry through our technology platform that we outsource to our partners. This quarter really reflects the fact that the financial services segment is now profitable and growing quite meaningfully. The tech platform business is also profitable with accelerating growth. And that's really the drivers of growth going in 2024 and less of the lending pieces. So it was a combination of that strategy over the last 6 years being invested in and then coming to fruition in 2023 with record revenue of over $2 billion and record EBITDA and actually hitting our long-term EBITDA margins at 30%. And as you mentioned, GAAP profitability for the first time, which will sustain in 2024.
Yeah, and of course.
So you might look at SoFi here and you might ask yourself, what's the difference between SoFi and a traditional bank? Because both are profitable now. You heard him just go through the lines of business they're in. Guess what? Most of those are same businesses that, let's say, JP Morgan Chase would be in, or Bank of America, or some of those companies, right? So you might say, what's the difference, right? I'll tell you, I think there's two key differences, in my personal opinion, in regards to SoFi versus a traditional bank, okay? One should be obvious, and that is growth rates, right? SoFi's growth rates are so far exceeding an average bank out there, right? And so that makes them much more exciting and compelling from that standpoint, right? And secondly, I would say tech, right? So much more focused on tech overall than traditional financial institutions or banks in general. And so I think that's where the two differentiations come from. And so for SoFi, they're going to command a much bigger valuation in terms of, let's say, a forward P. If you're trying to judge it on a forward P basis, they should command a much larger forward PE than, let's say, I don't know, like a traditional Wells Fargo or a Bank of America or a JP Morgan or somebody like that, in my personal opinion overall. Okay. All right. So let's keep rolling with this.
This all comes against a macroeconomic backdrop that for a lot of lenders remains uncertain. And you have a pretty conservative outlook for 2024, baking in a 5% unemployment rate, 4 rate cuts, which is, of course, fewer than the market is pricing in. So
wait a minute. Hold your horses. 5% unemployment rate? That's interesting. SoFi is expecting a 5% unemployment rate. If I was a SoFi shareholder, I'd actually feel really comfortable that my CEO is being very cautious like that, right? I was a JP Morgan shareholder for quite a while, and I always appreciate Jamie Dimon. Usually was a little more, let's call it keeping it safe. And so I appreciate that. That's good.
In terms of customer spending trends, portfolio quality, that is helping to inform your outlook for 2024?
Yeah, as you mentioned, we did take a very conservative view on the lending part of the business for 24. We are expecting 75% year-over-year revenue growth in our financial services segment and 20% year-over-year revenue growth in a tech platform, and really no growth in.
Yeah, those growth rates are insane. I mean, let's just be honest. Pretty much no bank is touching those growth rates, right? That's
because of that conservative view that we're taking. We do expect credit to normalize. We're seeing those trends across the industry as well as at SoFi, and so we're taking a very cautious view there. In terms of underlying spending trends within SoFi Money, we had $1.6 billion of point-of-sale debit spending in the quarter. That's annualized at about $6 billion. It's up 3x from a year ago. We're seeing strength within existing accounts, but we're also adding new counts, so it could be a little bit misleading. In addition to that, we have been observers of the broader market dynamics. We've seen some levels of liquidity dry up in certain markets. In addition to that, the largest banks have seen an increase relative to 7 and 10-year highs in write-offs, delinquencies, and then the provisions for losses of one of the largest banks were up 50% sequentially. So we're really bullish about our financial services segment, which is growing quite well, 75% for next year, and tech platform, but conservative on the lending side.
Hey, Anthony, some of the macro stuff that got commentary in the earnings last week was about real wage growth.
Before we go any further here, let me answer this question, right? Because it might be on people's mind. Are these gains going to stick? The gains are today, right, in the stock. My opinion is, I would say this time it is very likely the gains stick for SoFi. Now that they are truly profitable and now they're expected to stay profitable, that they came in with that big revenue beat, I think there's a high probability the gains stick this time and the stock doesn't go back down to $6 to $7. So it's always possible, right? It's a big weakness in the market or something like that. But I think there's a pretty decent probability that this time the gains stick and that baby rolls higher from here. So we'll see how all that shakes out. But that's kind of at least my 2 cents on the stock price movement.
Rising again after 2 years of shrink.
Put it this way, I'd be shocked if this stock hits a 6 again ever. I'd be shocked at this point in time.
Is that starting to make itself felt within the metrics?
Possible. I'd just be shocked if it happened.
We're not actually seeing an impact on spending. We are obviously seeing a normalization of credit back to pre-COVID levels. So that's where it's showing up on the spending side. That is still strong, but the credit side across the industry as well as at SoFi is definitely normalizing, which is why we're taking a conservative view. The unique thing for SoFi is that in 24, 50% of our revenue will be from technology platform revenue and financial services, and 50% from lending. In previous years, it was as high as 80%. So we've gained scale and profitability in those two segments just in the right time as we enter 2024 and the concerns on the credit side.
Yeah, I mean, just very impressed overall there in regards to SoFi. I mean, just makes me want to buy the stock. I'll just be quite honest with you guys, okay?